That's where everything started from, and it just took off from there. And we started conversations, a lot of dinner meetings, and next thing you know, I'm racing Xfinity full time.
Hailie Deegan is back in the spotlight, and this time, it's bigger than anyone expected. Her latest career move has everyone in NASCAR talking, with insiders hinting there's much more going on behind the scenes than what's been made public. Let's break down exactly what happened, how Tony Stewart fits into this chaos, and why Hailie's entire racing career might be at a breaking point. When Hailie Deegan was quietly released from her Truck Series team, it didn't come with much fanfare, but insiders saw the red flags. Her 2023 season hadn't gone well, far from it. There were whispers of internal frustration, clashing expectations, and questions about whether she had the focus and discipline needed to thrive in NASCAR's competitive ranks. But before the dust could settle, Tony Stewart stepped into the picture. Tony saw something others overlooked. He didn't just see a driver who had struggled on the track, he saw a brand, a marketable personality, a potential game changer. Stewart's instincts have never been conventional. This was more than a talent grab, it was a strategic power move. And almost overnight, Hailie was back in the game with a multi-year deal, set to drive the number 15 Ford Mustang for AM Racing in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. But here's where it gets interesting. Hailie's rise wasn't driven by her track performance alone. In fact, her Truck Series numbers were underwhelming. In 2023, she had just one top 10 finish, a 6th-place run at Texas Motor Speedway. In over a dozen races, she finished outside the top 20 in more than half. And yet, she was able to leap into Xfinity while others with better stats were left behind. How? The answer lies in her digital power. Hailie Deegan has built one of the strongest personal brands in motorsports. With over 1.6 million Instagram followers and millions more across platforms, she's not just a driver. She's a marketing machine. Sponsors flock to her, not because of podiums, but because of presence. In modern NASCAR, that matters. Even Hailie admits it. In interviews and podcasts, she's talked openly about how much effort she puts into her social media strategy. She views it as a second job, one that brings real rewards. Sponsors who wouldn't otherwise consider NASCAR are now on board, all because of her digital footprint. It's how she pulls attention, pulls funding, and pulls herself into deals like this one. But there's another layer to this story. Hailie's fiancé, Chase Cabre, played a key role in brokering her new future. During a truck race weekend at COTA, AM Racing personnel couldn't get a hold of Hailie directly. So they pulled Chase aside in the garage and started a conversation. She was busy prepping for driver intros, texting him, wondering where he'd gone. Meanwhile, he was laying the foundation for what would become her biggest career opportunity yet. That single moment turned into meetings, then dinners, then contracts. It's a modern racing fairy tale, but not everyone is convinced. Tony Stewart himself, despite backing Hailie's move, has expressed skepticism about the current state of driver development. He's been vocal in criticizing how young drivers are being pushed into the spotlight before they're ready. His concern? That they lack the maturity, experience, and racecraft to survive at higher levels. In particular, Stewart pointed to a wreck involving Hailie and Lawless Alan in Nashville, where Hailie caused a collision that ended Alan's race and also caught Jack Wood in the crossfire. Stewart didn't mince words. He blamed her for the crash and used it as a teaching moment, emphasizing that true race drivers need more than raw speed. They need strategy, patience, and emotional control. This criticism wasn't new for Hailie. Her career has been filled with controversy and aggressive moves. Back in the ARCA Menard Series West, she notched 3 wins, but all 3 involved contact with other cars. In one race, she spun her own teammate. In another, she was penalized a lap after bumping Trevor Huddleston. In 2019, her ARCA debut ended in a collision with Joe Graff Jr., after which she declared she was done playing nice. At Daytona in 2020, her bump drafting nearly sent teammate Tanner Gray spinning. Later that season, she got a warning after spinning 2 drivers at Lebanon the Wine 44 Speedway. Veteran Todd Souza once called her behavior disrespectful, comparing her to a spoiled child. And yet, despite the drama, she kept landing bigger deals. Her driving style is polarizing, but it keeps her in the spotlight. Some say she races with passion, others say it's recklessness disguised as confidence. But in a sport where exposure equals opportunity, Hailie's aggressive brand has done more good than harm, at least off the track. When AM Racing signed her, it wasn't just betting on her potential, it was buying into her audience. But the risk became clear early in the 2024 season. Despite the fanfare, the results didn't come. Hailie struggled to break into the top 20, and her average finish hovered near 27th. Fans grew restless. Analysts questioned the move. Then came the final blow. After poor finishes and growing pressure, AM Racing replaced her with Joey Logano for the Chicago street race. Logano's presence was telling. It wasn't just a sub-in, it was a reset. And just days later, on July 8, 2024, AM Racing and Hailie Deegan officially parted ways. So what really went wrong? Some blame her driving, others blame unrealistic expectations. But the truth is more complex. Hailie was thrust into a high-pressure role where she was expected to deliver results while juggling her brand, her sponsorships, and the constant scrutiny of being NASCAR's most followed female driver. That's a tough load for anyone, let alone a driver still learning the ropes. Now, she's at a crossroads. Her time with AM Racing ended sooner than expected, but her career isn't over. Far from it. In fact, this might be the reset she needs. She's still young, still marketable, and still a magnet for sponsors. But the next step has to be smarter. Hailie's options now include re-entering Xfinity with a smaller, more development-focused team, or she could return to trucks to regain confidence and consistency. Another path? Embracing her influencer status and shifting toward a hybrid role that includes racing part-time while building her brand full-time. She could also consider venturing into different forms of motorsport altogether. Off-road racing, where she got her start, or even SRX could offer a place to refine her skills without the immense pressure of the NASCAR spotlight. In those environments, she might find more space to grow competitively and rebuild confidence. Reconnecting with her roots might help reset the narrative. And that's what makes her situation unique. Hailie Deegan is more than a driver. She's a media figure, a brand, and an ambassador for the future of motorsports. But she also carries the burden of proof. She has to show that her career is based on more than social media followers, that she has the skill and discipline to compete with the best. For Tony Stewart, this is also a test. He took a risk aligning with Hailie. If she bounces back and delivers results elsewhere, he'll be seen as a visionary. If not, critics will say he got swept up in the hype. Either way, Hailie Deegan's story is far from over. It's evolving, shifting, and maybe just entering its most important chapter yet. Will she rise from this setback? Will she refine her racecraft, embrace a smarter strategy, and silence the doubters? Or will she double down on the brand and continue to chart her own course? One thing's for sure, NASCAR has never seen a driver quite like her. And whatever comes next, it won't go unnoticed. If you're watching this unfold, keep your eyes on Hailie, because whether she's in the winner's circle or making headlines off the track, she's not done yet. Not even close.